football games on Thursday night. I just want to keep talking about football. That's the new trend. I'm walking in the back door every single time now. We're going to talk about football before every press conference. Really proud of our guys, especially in that fourth quarter. It just felt like offensively and defensively we put together what we wanted to do. We wanted to get stops. We wanted to make plays defensively. Trey gets a big charge after a turnover. Our guys were on the boards. Kevin, 15 rebounds is amazing. But I thought we really slowed the game down. Trey obviously gets hot, but to really get organized, slow the game down. He makes a lot of end-of-shot clock plays, but you have to have a closer in this league, and you have to be able to execute in the fourth quarter in this league, and I thought our guys did a really good job of that tonight.
Coach, you guys had, in the third quarter, you had kind of some lulls. In the fourth quarter, what are those conversations like so you guys don't have that lull?
You know what? I didn't talk about it. I think we ended up with the lead going into the fourth, but we kind of salvaged that run, and they come out and they go back up 3 at the early portion of the fourth quarter, and we didn't really talk about it. Those 2 possessions were transition defense. Not getting back on one after a turnover and then just going for a swipe on another. And so that was odd because they weren't getting a whole lot in transition in the first half, and we gave up 2 to start the fourth quarter. But after that, I think we settled in pretty good. We got to a rhythm, we got to a set that was looking good for us, and Trey obviously hit some threes, but it was easier to get organized because he hit a couple, and everyone knew where to be, and we knew how they were attacking, and Kevin attacked one because they denied Trey, and he gets downhill for a layup, and it just felt like everything was open at that point. But there's always going to be lows. Devin Booker was phenomenal tonight, and it was hard to guard him, and the lows were mainly him scoring and us unable to score, and we kind of salvaged that. Tonight was a weird game on both teams. Everybody was in foul trouble, and they had to sit him a little bit. We had to sit DeAndre and Cam a lot, and John as well. But the guys that came in, DeAndre Bembry defensively, Damian Jones with a lot of his screens and rolls to the rim, provided a big boost for us tonight.
Congratulations again, Coach Lloyd. Could you talk a little bit about DeAndre Hunter's performance tonight?
I thought he was great. To see him make that shot at the end of the shot clock, just needing a play and nothing set and stable at that point, but just the state of mind to go up and get a shot. But I thought, defensively he was physical. He was in foul trouble and battling with that all night. But I just thought his performance, I thought he was solid. He's guarding at the 4. He's trying to switch out and guard on the Booker a couple of times, and just moving his feet, being physical, being engaged. It's really all of our guys. I thought all of our guys competed and gave us what we needed on both ends of the floor.
Congratulations on winning, Coach.
Thank you.
What did you see tonight, if anything, that may not show up necessarily in the box score, or that maybe not a lot of people pay attention to?
Cam Reddish, for him to defend Booker is to make him work. And, there are certain guys in this league that are going to get 30 no matter what. And if they don't get it, it's more off night than what any team, will do. But I thought he competed. I thought he really challenged every shot. I thought he was in the bodies and engaged. And I thought one of the biggest plays of the night was him getting a defensive rebound, pushing it, accelerating. He gets into the paint, he kicks it out, and Kevin hits a 3. And that's not going to show up because he had 2 assists and 2 points or whatever it is. But that was a huge play, a big confidence play. His ability to get in the paint to attack. He was in that attack mode, and he made the right play.
We've talked about this a lot over the season, but is this game a good example of what this team can do when John, Trey, and Kevin are playing together healthy at a high level?
I hope so. Yes is the answer. I hope so from a consistency standpoint. I thought John set the table for us early. He was phenomenal. He hits 2 big threes on some pick and pop situations. He's around the basket as well. He's got 33 blocks now in 15 games, where it was 39 and 61 last year. And so his defensive numbers, the defensive rating at the 5, he's playing a lot at the 5, have been great. But to see Kevin shoot the ball the way he shot it tonight, to see him rebound, to see DeAndre make plays, to see Cam defend, and then Trey close it out, it's kind of how it's been designed. We're trying to get these guys to all gel together, and tonight was an example of that.
Earlier you spoke to Kevin having 15 rebounds, but he also was 2 assists shy from a triple-double. Could you just speak to his overall game?
Yeah, I mean, that's, similar to what we just said. Having him on the court, it's great when we have a 6'7" 2-guard, a 6'9" Cam Reddish, a 6'9" DeAndre Hunter, however they measure out. All of those guys are capable of going up and getting extra rebounds for us, and Kevin showed that tonight. But we've always talked about Kevin Huerter being that secondary playmaker. So 8 assists is a huge number for him. And that's key. Teams are in a blitz trade, and he's got to get off the basketball. And when he does, we have a guy that's capable. In Kevin, we're slowly going to grow Cam and DeAndre to make some plays as well. But I think Kevin shows us that he's capable of doing it. His first 2 games back with Trey earlier in the year, or early in December, he had 13 assists in those 2 games. I think Charlotte was one and Orlando was the other, whoever it was. But we knew then, and we know now, that he's capable of being another facilitator for us, but it definitely helps when he's also a 3-point shooter like he was tonight. But again, we're excited to have those guys out there. They're starting to get minutes together. Obviously, Trey missed his last game, so setback, and when they're healthy, that's what you're capable of seeing. It's still a matter of getting it consistently.
Congratulations, Coach. We're exactly at the halfway point of the season. What will be your progress report for the team?
What?
Your progress report for the team.
Incomplete. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to evaluate the team after what we've been through, and it's not an excuse. It's just a reality. We're probably over the 100-minute mark with Kevin, Trey, and John on the floor now, finally, and that's an incomplete. I still just go back and evaluate each player individually, and what we can do to help them, and where they've grown from the beginning of the year, what type of setbacks they may have had, and how we can continue to assist. And I like what those young guys are doing, and that's it's hard as a coach to just isolate those 5 guys, but they're a big part of our future, and they're a big part of what we're doing and why they're starting. So we're just hoping to get them together as much as we can, and you get excited when you see a game like this where they're playing well and they're playing well together.
Coach, you've been a big support and advocate for women in sports, and really particularly the Atlanta Dream women in basketball. Today, a groundbreaking or monumental CBA was announced. Can you share with us your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's huge. I've talked about Candace many times before. Candace Parker was a really good friend of mine. And there's been a lot been made about, WNBA and getting additional financial support and just stability for the league. And, I've been supporting the Dream. Nikki's a good friend of mine. Nikki Collins is a good friend of mine. So I think it's huge. I think what they've done is they've provided some stability. There's always been the issue of their players having to go overseas to make up for the economic side of it. And hopefully this keeps, a lot of players here. So I thought it was huge. I didn't know, it was kind of unexpected. I didn't know that there was such an agreement that they were working on. I know they've always talked about it, but I didn't know they were as close as they were. And to finalize it, I think it was 8 years, 7 years. It just boosts the league. It boosts. I have a daughter, so maybe we need to get it for 20 years because she'll be ready soon.
It felt like Trey kind of picked his spots for the first 3 quarters and then put his foot on the gas more in the fourth. Is that do you feel like the offense is at its best when he's able to do that, get other guys involved, and then kind of take over the game?
Well, just managing it. And I talked to him right before I came in here. I said, I don't care what shot you take. It's just really get the one you want, and let's make them have to work when they're defending us, especially in the fourth quarter. He had full control of this game tonight. Hitting the rollers, Damian and John, finding open shooters, getting off the basketball when he was being pressured, and letting Kevin handle it. A lot of aggression and a lot of understanding when to let other guys be involved. I just thought his command of the game was exceptional, and that's the biggest challenge for a young point guard, is to understand how to command, how to manage the game from an execution standpoint, the details of it, who hasn't touched it in a while, who's hot, how to get it to them. All of those things are important, and they're starting to figure each other out. He's staying engaged. The other guys are helping him out with it, but that's an important part of his growth, and he was exceptional tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.